Welcome back guys to a new video. Now today's video is going to be on the flying nerf. Now as you guys know, recently with the new update that was released for the PC, flying was nerfed massively, like to the point where people were saying like it's quicker just to ride a mount across the water than it is to fly across the water. It was that slow on the minimum speed. So lots of people have been complaining, saying, this is awful, can we change it back, what's going to be going on? And obviously Wildcard have been getting this feedback, and in a new update which we're going to be talking about today, they have done some big buffs. So there is an update guys that's going to be coming out later on tonight or tomorrow for ARK, which will be PC straight away, because obviously the full update will come to console, but once it's fully finished and ready, the PC, they're checking loads of things out, trying loads of things out, and then hopefully after a while they get it perfect and then it will come to console. So this might be quite a long video guys, because I'm going to go through absolutely everything they've said and explain loads of different stuff about these new categories that the flying mounts are actually going to be put in as well, which is really interesting. So if you guys do enjoy this video and you wouldn't mind dropping a like and subscribing if you're new to the channel, that'd be great. But we're just going to go straight into everything right now. So as you'll be able to see on the screen right now, Jat, as you guys know, is a dev for ARK Survival Evolved. He said we'll be releasing a patch which will address flyers and UI based on the feedback we received, expecting for it to drop tomorrow nightish. Man, this was about 13 hours ago, so from whatever's tomorrow nightish 13 hours ago is when it's going to drop. So it could drop within the next sort of like 6-7 hours type of thing, 8 hours, 9 hours, I don't know, or it could even be tomorrow depending on how long it does take. So that is the information on what is going on right there. But then this is the bit where you might want to sit back, grab a drink and then listen to this, because obviously it's quite a long thing and we're just going to be going through it all now. So rebalancing the flyers, which is obviously part 2. So if you want to, this is basically, him just saying if you want to skip through some of this and you want to go down to the bold text, which goes on basically everything. But we're going to go through the whole thing and then you guys can choose how much you want to skip through, or if you want to listen to the whole thing. So it goes, hey there friends, so there's been a lot of controversy over this flyer nerf, and we're glad to see that there's always our community is loud and engaging us every way they can to know how they can basically, improve the game and how, what people think is best for the game moving forward. So let's basically, he's like, he doesn't want to waste our time, so let's just get straight down to stuff. So the big broad nerf hammer has been swung as this, and as the senior gameplay designer of the project, this is the guy talking, which you can see right here. It's my job to try and communicate as much as I can, as well as what's going on with changes like this. I also have to make it a priority to iterate with you guys, the community, on stuff that impacts you. Even if I'm not great at it all the time, that's the part of the whole philosophy. So he's basically saying, when everything gets changed on the game, he's the guy that's got to be there, making sure things are getting the change, making sure he's listening to you guys and everything like that. So I think the discussion is, why did you do it? Needs, this needs, like, obviously to talk about, because there's lots of people saying, this might have killed ARK, or, I'm just trying to sum it up for you guys in a more easier way to, so for you guys to understand. So lots of people are being, asking, why have you done this? This has ruined the game. You see those big titles on YouTube like, you've killed ARK, blah, 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 blah. And he was basically saying, so we very much see flyers as something that needs to have distinctive roles. We feel like this way about every dino, but each day only one has many hours in it, and there are a huge number of priorities that we have before we do a lot of balanced stuff. So in their state before this nerf bat, flyers were largely non-distinctive, and the speed was a critical issue across the board. The game had become like a largely get a flyer rule the world, and but basically as early as the Pterodon, or the Pteranodon. Sorry, I said that wrong. I always say Pteranodon. So if I'm rounding this up for you guys again, they're basically saying when you start the game off, the first thing you think about is getting a flyer, and then bang, you're done. You can fly around, no one can get you. Whereas if you're on a land dino, there's more chance that anyone can come from anywhere on a fly or anything and just come and kill you. Whereas if you have a bunch of flyers in the sky, you'll basically rule, you've won the game. So that's what they're saying. They feel like it's become too OP, and they've seen that most of the hours go into having these insane OP quetzes and everything, and not enough people use land dinos, which I think isn't true to a point. I definitely think that a lot of people use land dinos, such as T-Rexes and Gigas and stuff. I know the Giga had a big nerf recently, but I do think it is still quite even. But obviously I understand where they're coming from. I do understand flyers are very, used so much more than other ones. So there were many PvP implications in flyer speed. Not only did it make a snatching, C4 bombing and Quet's grenading had lots of different issues and stuff, but had underlying repercussions in the overall PvP gameplay space with regards to making land dinos, so you can actually see them in battle and giving them a chance to fight back against the other, flyers in the game basically, and giving people because when people are in the air and they're throwing C4s off and blowing people's bases up, that with the Quets carrying the turtles into the base covered in C4 just destroys, absolutely, wrecks havoc in the base. Whereas when you're thinking about when you actually want to go and raid, you can't, it's not like you can run, send in a T-Rex or, with loads of C4 over, because it's just not the same, really. That's basically what they're trying to say. And having a Quetzes and everything are just so overly OP on the game that they need a way to stop this. And I don't agree with what they've done with the speed. I feel like myself, they've made it way too slow. It was like, I remember watching someone in an RG on one of their videos. They were slow. Literally, it was going across the water like it was like, like sprinting normally. It was like how they would walk, like how they'd fly, not sprinting normally, if you guys understand what I mean. So there were also PvE implications. The ground game, the ground game was just basically trivialized, where you could live on the back of a Quetz, and literally as soon as you get one, you never have to go onto the land, and 80% of the game was easily ignored because the air is safer and more straightforward. So that's where it comes under PvE, where PvEs can, you could just stay on your Quetz, and that's basically the same for PvE and PvP. You can stay on your Quetz by just dropping explosions on people's bases, whereas PvE, you can literally stay and live on a house on a Quetz, which I still think is pretty cool. I still think having that as a sense of thing, that something you can have in the game to live on a Quetz, is good. But I think maybe to have a nerf on it, maybe if you're there for too long, there's a certain set time you can be up in the air for with your certain base before it gets too heavy. It might go down to the floor and it could explode, or you could lose anything that you've got on the back of it. Could be a good idea, because I completely agree with them there. You can literally just live on your Quetz up in the sky at the moment. So without taking forever to dive deep into this stuff, the one thing that I think everyone can agree on, or that most people seem to agree with, is that it had to happen, and you guys should have done it, less and stuff like that. So they're saying, even I agree they did need a nerf in some sort of thing, and a lot of you guys agree that as well, but they're saying they should have done it less the way they have. They feel like they've nerfed it too much, which is why it's getting a buff, as you guys know, and it's coming out in a new update. So both of these statements are true, but in the long run, the way we choose to make these changes are with broad strokes, followed by, different buffs, and that's how we work. There are other companies who do it differently, and that's good. For an in-development product, however, this is how we choose to do it. The end result will be the same. The only difference is where the outrage is felt. Either you guys get furious at us over several weeks as we nerf your flyers again and again, making them weaker and weaker, and then you hate us for that. Or we do it all in one, then buff them, and you hate us once, hate us all at once, and then things get better. So that's basically how they work. These are two different, design approaches. If this was the finished game, where right now we felt like creatures needed some small incremental tweaks to get them the place we'd like them, we probably would have taken the Blizzard/StarCraft approach to little types of steps. Now, let me take a moment to you guys to address all the, on a serious note, don't let everyone tell you not to express yourself. If you have a feeling and, if something we made, made you feel like in a certain way, express it. You're not wrong to feel that way. It is your own feeling and you have the right to express it. And I've seen a lot of people telling each other, what is not okay, what is okay and what isn't okay to express. And I don't really like that. So basically, they're trying to say, like, they want you to say to them, what's bad and what's good. But they don't want you to constantly be saying that, saying you're the worst, you've killed the game, blah, blah, blah. And that's basically what they're saying. They're just rounding it up, saying, please, tell us what's good and what isn't good. But just don't say, just be like, you've destroyed the game, because it's not, it's not feedback they can work on. Whereas if you say to them, we don't agree with this is the reason we don't agree with this, then, they can work on it. And that's basically what they want. So this is the main part that you guys obviously have been waiting for in the video, which is the bald part, which is where they're going to be put into different roles of how the flyers are going to work. So the overall goal with this rebalance is to define the roles of different flyers in different ways. So the Pteranodon is fast, it's a sprinting scout with low health and stamina, but quick stamina recovery. Faster flyer in the game except for wild wyverns. So So it's the fastest flyer in the game, you know, while it's wild, but then there's wild wyverns around, then they'll be the fastest. So the RG is a tanky fighter, can scrap well and take some hits. It's got high stamina and got, you know, high carry weight compared to the other flyers except the Quet, while still maintaining some agility. The Moth is a beginner mount, low stats across the board except travel or fighting. You know, well, for travel, obviously it takes a bit longer to get to places, and fighting is awful. That it won't be anything for fighting, but it's got a powerful special attack. You guys know what that is already. So the Pelagornis is it's quite a versatile flyer with like quite low stats, but very unique at the way it works, and other special abilities to offset its lack of direct stat power. So, you know, it's sort of an average, you know, quite sort of in the middle. Because as you guys know, it's not a massive bird, is it? It's quite small. It's not like anything massive like a Quet. So it's basically how it's going to be. This is how the Quetz is going to be from now on. It's a Sky Bronto. Slow, extreme stamina, extreme weight capacity, good for prolonged sieges for, you know, moving massive quantities of things from there and back. High health pool, but extremely poor at moving around and very vulnerable. So you're not just going to be able to, you know, pump loads of speed in it. It'll be really quick, but it will be, you know, it will be able to get you to places and stuff like that, like a Bronto, and take a lot of hits. The Tape Jara is a tactical flyer between the Argent and the Tero for overall stats, but with multi-mount support and latching abilities, it can carry well-armed players in and out of the battlefield or to remote locations. And the Wyvern, or Wyvern, however you say it, is the Lord of the Skies, low stamina, moderate movement speed, poor agility, but extreme power. So that's basically how they're going to see it and how they feel the game, and this is how they think to finish it off is the perfect idea, and this is what's going to be the update, which is either coming out later on tonight or tomorrow. So that is how it's all going to work for you guys. These are going to be the absolute new values of how it's going to go, and he's just saying if you want to see anything else, I'll probably end up leaving the link to this in the description down below for you guys to have a final, you know, sort of read on this and everything like that. And he's saying this isn't the final pass. They still want to see your feedback. If you guys don't enjoy it as much, you know, if you're still complaining loads and they don't feel like people are agreeing with this, there's still a chance that this can be changed. But I personally think what they're doing here is a great thing for the game and moving it forward. I definitely think this is a great idea. I'm not too sure what I feel on some of them, but I think this is the best idea, and I think going back would just, you know, not get any progression into the game, and I personally don't think this would be great if they did push this back. But anyway, guys, they're just saying massive thank you, you know, for everything you've done, you know, all the support you've given them, and you know, I want to thank you guys for all the support you've given me as well. And this community is an amazing community, so we just got to keep working together, giving ideas in, and just seeing what can happen in the future, basically, and see if it can become as more successful as the game can be with its potential. So that has been everything rounded up for you guys. I was going to do absolutely everything, but I didn't want the video to be way too long, because obviously I did say this was going to be a long video, but this just explains like the sort of you know, the best way possible of what's going to happen within that brand new update. But anyway, guys, as I said, the patch should be coming out very soon for PC, obviously not for console, but once this is all, you know, come to a conclusion and people decide what they want, then that is when it will come out for console. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. Make sure to drop a like if you did enjoy it. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. Thank you for all the support. It really does mean a lot to me, guys. I think we're like getting closer to like 35,500, which is insane. So thank you guys for that. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in a video very soon.